How's it going, guys? In this video, I'm going to teach you how to sound like Yacht Club on FL Studio. If you're trying to find tutorials on FL Studio, I got plenty, so consider subscribing and checking me out. So you can do this one of two ways. The easy way would be to just go to the link in the description or the pinned comment and go to my website and just buy the vocal presets that I'm going to show you in this video. It goes at a pretty cheap price. The second option, obviously, is just showing you through the tutorial. So, the link is in the description if you want to check it out. But anyway, let's just get right onto the tutorial. Okay, so I have the effects right here, and I have two different versions of the same thing basically. So this first one that I'm going to show you is more for like his more vibey stuff, like, you know what I mean. While this one is a lot drier, it doesn't have nearly as much reverb as this one, and it's more for songs like Japan or Live, which has a drier sound in comparison. So I'm just going to run you step by step. A lot of it is copy and paste from this, just with settings tweaked and whatnot. So I have, first of all, the auto-tune over here, and the main things I really changed were just the retune speed, the humanize, and I have a slight bit of formant shift, very little, but especially in, you know what I mean, unless you can hit those notes, which I doubt it, and I can barely. Let me actually. It's not like you not like yeah, I can barely do it, or I can barely do it sounding good. So I have very slight formant shift, only about like a 93. Retune speed, I have it at 20, just how fast the pitch corrects itself, and humanize I have at 70, just to make it sound slightly more human. He doesn't sound like he has much auto-tune, but anyway. Next, I have Fruity Multiband Compressor. I prefer this over the limiter and like the Fruity Compressor because it focuses on like 3 different bands. The lower frequencies, the mid frequencies, and the high frequencies. I just use the bright preset because, like the name implies, it makes it much brighter sounding. Then I have a Fruity limiter, just for two things. I have the ceiling at -11 decibels, but mostly I have it for the noise gate. A lot of you, I can imagine, especially people that are just starting off, probably have rooms with a lot of like white noise or like background noise that can make the mix sound kind of bad. So with noise gate, basically all that really does is it removes that annoying background noise depending on like how far you put the threshold. So like, for instance, I have it at very little. I only have it at like -40 decibels. This is something that naturally you're gonna have to like check out for yourself because it's a very case by case sort of thing. Basically all you really have to do is just drag this. You can see like the yellow stuff, anything under the yellow basically gets removed. So I only really have it like -40 because for me at least the room is pretty decent sounding. And then for it to work, you have to have the gain cranked all the way to 0. Release is not essential in my opinion. Like it helps to make it maybe a little smoother, the transition, but I wouldn't say it's necessary. Then I have a de-esser over here. All I really did was just go to de-esser split band and occasionally tweak this here and there just to really remove the s sound. Then I have some EQ over here. All I really did was remove the sub bass, and a little bit of the bass, not too much. Remove this like annoying part in between the low mid and the mid, and just cranked up the high a bit. So like the way I did it, essentially just right click, type high pass, and then order steep 8, and then the rest is just dragging it up and down. And then next we want some soundgodizer just to give it a bit more saturation, make it a little crispier. Keep in mind I don't have it at that much. I only have it like under like 25%, so just keep that in mind. And then the last couple things, I have the reverb at these settings, so like the wet level at 65, early reflection at 50, and dry level at 76, and then quite a bit of stereo separation like 61. And then the decay, I have it at 4 seconds. Very little delay over here. As you can see, I have the stereo hard panned, and I have it at like an 8:0 ratio. But as you can see, the mix level is only at 7%. I don't want to have that much. It's more of like a really subtle background detail. And just a small little thing I did, because a lot of, especially the vibey songs, are so spacious, I added a bit of Fruity stereo separator. I have the mix level at 31, so it's not 100%, but yeah, all I really did was I put the delay at like 0.6 milliseconds right, so it has a bit more of a stereo sound, the vocals a bit more in the background, and I think with instrumentals it sounds pretty good. So just going from raw vocals to the final product, it sounds like this. It's not like you want to. Oh shit, I actually need to like find the lyrics. It's not like you ever try to stay. And then with effects. It's not like you ever try to stay. I think it goes pretty hard. I think it sounds pretty good. Quite a noticeable difference from just raw vocals. So over here, the second one is essentially literally the same thing, except there's a couple of noticeable tweaks. First of all, on the auto-tune, I didn't add any form and shift. I feel like in like the drier songs, his voice doesn't seem to hit that high of a note, so I just didn't include that. For the EQ, I kept everything the same, except I added a low pass filter over here slightly at the 1080 hertz mark or whatever. I don't know, I just feel like it sounds right comparing it with other songs of his. I cranked the sound garager slightly higher at exactly like 25 or 24 or whatever. I tweaked the reverb as well. Now it is only at 27%, but basically with the same effects as before, just I removed it to make it a little less grating, just a little less omnipresent. Delay basically kept it the same, I just removed a bit the feedback level. And stereo separation, I kept it about the same, kind of dropped it down a little bit to only 21%. And it sounds like this. Do keep in mind, it might sound like it's a bit too much reverb, but pairing that with an instrumental, the reverb isn't going to be as noticeable, because the way I see it, reverb is kind of like a pillow. Sometimes some people with no reverb just like to sleep on the cold hard floor, and others with reverb just kind of have like a soft pillow on top of it. So I feel like with the instrumental, it's going to stop it from just sounding super dry. But do keep in mind, even though I have these effects right here, I do recommend tweaking them ever so slightly depending on the instrumental you are on, because sometimes it won't sound 100%. It's a case-by-case basis. But I would recommend tweaking the mix levels depending on how it sounds on the instrumental you're riding on, because right now I'm doing it a cappella, but there is a noticeable difference once you start adding instruments underneath your voice. But yeah guys, this has basically been it for the video. Hopefully this has been informative to you. If it has, consider subscribing for more tutorials like this. If you have any recommendations of artists that you want me to do, please leave them in the comments. I read all comments. If you are interested, check out the website. I think it's a win-win for both of us, because I feel like I'm giving pretty high quality presets, and you are basically helping me financially, which means a lot, man. So thank you for everything. Thank you for all the support as usual, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So peace.
Oh. Hello.
Can you pose?
Can you pose?
Hello. Thanks.
Thank you. Do you have TikTok?
Hello.
Yes, you have TikTok.
Can you put it in chat?
Can you put it in chat? Jamal, is that actually your TikTok?
No, probably not.
Hamon. Hamon. Huh?
No, it's not. He's lying. I just see Ham.
Jamal.
I'm not fucking lying. Okay? That's how you say it, alright? In Spanish. Fuck you, man.